Thank you very much, Ardith, and thank you everybody for coming today. As you know, I've been working on this aquarium for a couple of years now, and it's just kind of evolved as we've gotten going. And let me just back up a couple slides here. I just wanted to make sure everyone knows that this is going to be an aquarium on the Riverwalk. So, pointer working there? So this is Kings Bay here, and that's Highway 19, and that's kind of a visual of what the aquarium would look like from the street view, and that's right in Cedar Cove. That's right between Crackers and Charlie's Fish House Restaurant. So it would be right there on the water. There it is, it's showing up a little bit. And then right here is the 3rd Street Pier. So the Riverwalk will connect. It's going to be right in the heart of downtown. And an aquarium is one of those things that many communities have used to revitalize their downtowns and really add an anchor to towns. It can be very successful. Aquariums, tremendous educational benefits with an aquarium. School programs there so that as our local students integrate into the aquarium, we have a lot of local resident visits at the aquarium. We can bring down University of Florida and offer programs. We can educate our tourists about what's going on there. And just keep it really an exciting place. We're hoping that the aquarium will be a dolphin and manatee rehabilitation center. So the aquarium will basically be rescue, rehab, and release. Because when you're dealing with these large mammals like dolphins and manatees, you know, there's rules and everything. We don't want to capture them just for our own entertainment. But when we were I was down in Clearwater, you know, they have Winter, the dolphin there that, you know, sometimes when you rescue an animal, it's never really going to be ready to be released. So we may end up with some resident manatees there, and not only can we use them, have them at the aquarium so people can see what's going on there, but we may also have ancillary facilities around Kings Bay. There's a little cove over near the 3rd Street Pier that could maybe be roped off, and maybe that could be another rehabilitation center there. So, I mean, this thing has a lot of legs. It could do a lot for this community. Part of the education that we'll be showing people there is, you know, all about environmental protection and awareness. Of course, you know me, I'm going to have tanks there showing Lingmia in it and Catamorpha in it, and, you know, just showing them what we've done. And it's also going to be right on Cedar Cove, so they can see right in front of them that whole restoration of Cedar Cove there, and learn about the eelgrass that's going to be planted in there and everything else. And when you think about the tourism and economic opportunities that this aquarium could bring.
Who's right up front?
Front row. I mean, you know, and the tourists are here. I mean, they're already here, and let's give them someplace to go. And, you know, this aquarium would be like a must-see facility. You've got over 300,000 visitors a year down there at the Homosassa Springs. So there's no reason to think that they wouldn't spend some time here at the aquarium. And we're going to have a lot of, you'll see as I go on, we're going to have a lot of things there to keep them entertained. So if they can spend an extra day in Citrus County, that just makes all the difference in the world. You know, one extra day, another night at the motel, another meal at the restaurant. Now all the restaurants are doing a little bit better. Now, you know, there's new businesses showing up and more things to do. So tremendous economic opportunities. You know, we have the gas plant going in, but that's really only about 60 permanent jobs. With an aquarium like this, we could have up to 200 jobs related to that aquarium. So it's really going to give opportunities for a lot of people in our community to work. When I was down in Clearwater, they have 200 employees there, and some of these kids working there, I mean, they would do it for free. They love working at the aquarium so much and working with the animals. And then also the aquarium will help with the sustainability of the One Rake at a Time project. Some of the proceeds from the ticket sales can go to help with the restoration of Kings Bay. And here's the preferred location is, like I say, it's right there next to, between Crackers and Charlie's restaurant there. It's right next to Birds Underwater. and it's perfect for the aquarium. It's got high visibility. It would be right on the river walk, and it would, put people right there on Cedar Cove and just showcase the restoration work that we're doing there. And it's just a vacant lot right now. The lot is approximately 200 feet wide by 300 feet long. And we've designed the aquarium to fit exactly in there, with a little bit of room to spare. And get my pointer out again. So once again, this is the Waterside down here, and we've got a ramp coming up, or docks, and then this area right in here is a special little area where the manatees would come in. There'd be isolation pools in there, and we've got not open to the public. We've got roll-up doors to bring them right in there and rescue them if they've been cut or injured, or if they're sick. So it's all set up for that, with plenty of room to work there. There's not a lot of parking on site, but you can bring a trolley in from 19 and bring them right up to the front door there. So we will figure out the parking problem one way or another. I like Dr. Desai's idea of a nice trolley. And if we really get something like this going, you can stop at the aquarium, you can go visit Three Sisters, you can drop them off at downtown Crystal River, you can take them out to the mall, maybe take them down to the Homosassa Springs Park. So anyway, this is the conceptual of the first floor. The main feature in the aquarium will be a 1,000,000-gallon tank in the middle, and this tank is going to be designed to basically mimic the ecosystem of Kings Bay. So we'll have eelgrass in there, we'll have artificial springs in there, the current of water will be slowly flowing around just like it would be in Kings Bay, so there's always a motion in there. We'll have other fish life and crabs and things in there that make it seem exactly like it is in Kings Bay before the algae invaded. And part of the reason that tank is so big is it's going to allow divers to go into that tank and do any veterinarian care of the manatees or dolphins or whatever, or turtles or whatever we have in there at that time. So there's several large aquarium tanks already in existence in the world. I think we researched this. The biggest one is like 5 million gallons, I think, in Shanghai. But a 1,000,000-gallon tank is pretty big. It would be like number 6. It'd be a pretty big tank there, but with modern building techniques it can be done. And then all around there is all sorts of other tanks and interactive activities for people to get involved in. We can have classes there for the kids and stuff. You'll see there's elevators to the side. There's 3 staircases in there. Once again, this isn't the area where the manatees come in, and then we've got a roll-up thing to bring them in there. So it would work very well. It's designed for easy flow. And then above that is the second floor. The second floor is a cutout that you can look down into the manatee tank, into the main tank. So the tourists can come up there and hang out and see what's going on down there. That's where your divers can go in the water there. We're also going to have a visiting exhibition center up there. We're going to have a 3D theater up there. We're going to have tanks that display Citrus County Water World, all the beautiful Florida wetlands, exhibits on that. We're going to have a children's area with hands-on touch tanks. A lot of kids, they need to touch something. And there are certain things that it's okay for them to touch. Very popular at a lot of the aquariums. We're going to have small classrooms available. We'll also have a display on seahorses. We have seahorses right off here on the coast. So it won't only be freshwater. It'll be saltwater also, saltwater tanks. And then we'll have different meeting rooms and things. We'll have probably even theaters in there that do a virtual reality swimming with the manatee, because some of our tourists that come, they can't actually get in the water and swim with the manatees, but maybe we get them into a theater where there's surround sound and they can, experience what it's like to swim with a manatee and get that personal connection. The top floor is going to be a flat roof with a restaurant on top. So this restaurant's going to be overlooking the water. This is the Waterside here, so it'll be overlooking Kings Bay, and the little restaurant will be set back there, and so it'll be shaded at all times. And then the rest of the rooftop is open with this huge skylight in the middle. And this skylight has a big domed up feature to it. You can see a little person over there to show you the height for there. And the reason is no one's going to run into it. And the reason we have it big domed up like that is we're going to be able to put in these special mirrors that will follow the sun, and it will direct the sunlight directly down into that 1 million gallon tank. So now we're using the sunlight to not only keep that tank the right temperature, but also bring those UV rays down in there so the eelgrass can grow. So we're going to design, we've been designing this to just be sort of eco-friendly, use a minimum amount of electricity. This is very excited for that concept. And then the rooftop restaurant is going to be great to have different events there. People can hang out there and eat, weddings, banquets, different things like that. It'll be another source of income for the aquarium. And here's a cutout for it. And you can see the tank is very large. That's a 25-foot high ceiling on the first floor. So when you walk in, it's just huge. And then the tank has got an 18-foot high all acrylic tank in there. It's gonna, when you come into this aquarium, it's gonna be the wow factor. People are gonna come in, it's like, wow. And then there's gonna be a lot of stuff to do. And you can see where we bring in we'll have a special little platform there where we bring in the manatees and get them in there. So it's a great location. It's going to have high visibility there. So it's just a natural thing. We already have a pretty good critical mass of attraction elements here. We've got Three Sisters, Homosassa Springs, and the aquarium would just be another thing that would really bring people into town. So we're looking at not only having our tourists come in there, but a lot of resident visitors there. And we want to keep bringing in different exhibits and things so we have multiple visit opportunities there, and at the same time, the rooftop, people can go up there and relax so they have a good experience and want to come back. I think there's a large untapped tourist destination here that really can do wonderful things for this community. Preliminary income estimates are at a ticket price of $20 per admission ticket, and of course we'll have discount tickets for local people and school groups and things like that. But your general ticket price average in 2010 was $20 for all aquariums in the U.S. Averaging 300,000 visitors in year 2 of the operation. That's a $6 million a year income just coming in from ticket sales. And then there are also going to be other earned revenue sources. We can sell memberships to the aquarium. There's going to be retail opportunities there at the aquarium, food services, special events, programs, classes, and things like that. So when we work the numbers, it looks pretty good. And 300,000 visitors a year. I think the Homosassa Springs Park did about 340,000 last year. So these are pretty much conservative numbers. The corporate structure right now, we're planning on forming the aquarium into a non-profit legal entity after the feasibility study is completed. That's why we've got these little pieces of paper on the table. If everyone could please fill it out, because if we do create a non-profit, we're going to be looking for people for the board. So if any of you are interested in being on the future board there, that's why we're having this meeting, just to get you interested in it all. But until we get that formed, the aquarium can operate under the One Rake, which is a nonprofit entity now, as a fiscal agent for tax-deductible donations. Investment resources, we're probably looking at something like this as up to $35 million project. And there's a lot of different places we can go and finance this. Grant funding. I've talked to Duke Energy. They have up to $1 million grant available. There are bank loans, there's partnerships, corporate sponsorships, volunteers, local donations. There's educational programs, there's research grants, endowments, things like that can all be tapped into. So the next step is to do a feasibility study, because it looks good and it makes sense to all of us. Probably it would be a wonderful thing for the community here. So we've researched this, and we've come up with this group called Consulticon, and they're out of Cambridge, Massachusetts, and they specialize in doing feasibility studies and things like that for aquariums around the world. They've been involved in the Tampa Aquarium the Florida Aquarium right down there in Tampa. So they have special expertise, and they've conducted over 50 of these feasibility studies. And the scope of the services for a feasibility study, they're asking $41,000 for it. They would meet and review all of the project's objectives and work that's been done to date, and they'll very carefully evaluate the whole aquarium concept, site, and market area to make sure it's really feasible to do in this area, and give us the numbers to back it up. They'll identify and evaluate, all the residential and tourist potential visitors that can come to it and document that on paper. They'll look at all the experience of local attractions have had, and they'll compare to what we want to do here to other aquariums. I've been down talking to the people at Lowry Park Zoo and Clearwater Aquarium. I've been down to the Florida Aquarium and the Atlanta Aquarium, and they've all had wonderful economic things happen there because of these aquariums. It's just really good for communities. But they'll estimate potential attendance and physical planning parameters, revenue potential, operating plan, and they'll look at a full 5-year operating performance, make sure that it's not just going to do really good for the first year because everybody's curious, and then they'll give us a whole summary report and presentation. And the beautiful thing about that is that this is something that basically, we can take to the bank. We can take it up to Tallahassee. We can take it to the different foundations and say, here's, what we want to do. All of our questions are answered here. It makes sense, and see if we can get some funding for this. So this aquarium is just amazing. This could be an incredible anchor for the community here, and then the ancillary spin-offs to that are amazing. When I was at Lowry Park Zoo, they have a full manatee hospital there. I don't think we're quite ready for that here yet, but they have manatees that come in there that are injured that they have to turn away. So we can go more like the model at Homosassa, where we don't have to have all the filtration systems and things like that, and we get them up here in rehab. But maybe in the future we would want a manatee hospital here. Maybe people are interested in the birds around here. Maybe build an aviary in the area. So really building on the whole tourism, a research center, like say connecting with the colleges and getting some serious research centers in here, or a botanical gardens here. The aquarium, just stimulate the desire to preserve and protect the environment. So the aquarium could be a great, beautiful thing to start everything off on. And there he is swimming along there.